Hello and welcome to the Pugsley Crew Reviews Podcast. This is like, I don't know, the 16th or so episode, maybe the 17th. I think it's the 17th, but we'll say 17th.
We'll go with that.
I think it is the 17th, but I should know. I was just looking at the things, and I think Barbie was the 16th episode, so who knows. As everyone who's listened to the podcast knows, we talk about films. For those who are new, you now know we talk about films. Whether they're good, whether they're bad, we watch any kind of film. We just enjoy watching and talking about films.
Yeah.
This week we have Kerr, Kerr 9000 with us. He's here pretty much all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think you've missed maybe two episodes.
Something like that.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I think you weren't here for Zombievers.
Nah, I missed that one.
I don't know if there was anything else. I think there was Midnight Run. The two.
Yeah, I don't remember Midnight Run. I did watch Zombievers, but then couldn't be there for the recording.
Yeah. Which is fair enough. How have you been anyway, man?
Oh, not too bad. How you been?
Yeah, doing good. Just been playing games, watching films. Not much else, really. Went for breakfast this morning to a cafe and had sausage, chips. No, I didn't have chips. Sausage, beans, egg, toast. All the stuff on a full English.
Oh,
except
yeah,
for black pudding, because
breakfast.
it's gross. Don't like black
pudding.
pudding.
You like black pudding?
No.
I quite like it. I don't eat it because it's so... Well, it's bad for you, innit? But I used to be fond of it.
Yes, this is not my cup of tea. I think in America they call black pudding blood sausage, which I think sounds worse than black pudding.
Sounds worse, but it's pretty accurate, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Fair description.
Yeah. Would you like some blood sausage? The film this week we are watching is called The Girl Who Got Away. I believe it's also been known to be called in other places as Mother.
Yeah.
Don't know where, but, some places. Kerr picked this film. We were going to watch a different film, but one of our previous guests, Doom Prinny, wants to watch and talk about that film, so we postponed watching it for a little bit. Anywho, why did you pick The Girl Who Got Away, Kerr? Had you watched it before, or was it just something you were interested in?
It was something I was interested in. There was two reasons for picking it. Me and my missus watch an awful lot of true crime stuff and things like analysing serial killers and that. And obviously, as this is a serial killer based film, but the other one is one of the main actors in it, and I'm probably going to butcher his name, but I think he's awesome. Chakudi Wudgie.
Right. I'm not sure of the actors' names, to be honest.
He's the detective guy that stays outside the lady's house in the car most of the time.
Yeah.
And he goes from the normal accent to his thick African accent.
Yeah.
And he's probably most famous either for being one of the characters in the Peacemaker series, or he was the High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I don't know what the High Evolutionary series is, or whatever it was called, or the other series. I don't know. I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, the other series, Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, that's the one.
It's the DC series with John Cena in that follows off from Suicide Squad. It's good.
I know, yeah. I haven't watched it, but I know of it. Yeah, I just haven't really watched superhero stuff really since the Marvel stuff. I haven't watched anything since Ant-Man.
Oh yeah.
So I'm way behind on there. The only stuff I've watched which is superhero based is the Spider-Verse films, and I've watched season 1 of Invincible, and that's about it. In a while, well, there you go. I haven't even watched Suicide Squad, the original Suicide Squad, or the Suicide Squad, which I was going to watch Suicide Squad with people to do an episode of Pugsley Crew Reviews. For those who don't know, that was when me and 3 other people would talk about a film as we watched it, and would talk about the film as it was playing. But we didn't actually get around to it in the end. Oh, there you go. This film came out in 2021, I believe.
Yeah, so it's reasonably new, not old.
Yeah, a couple of years. So, what were your thoughts on this film? So, because from the off, it starts off a bit weird. I was like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Because you see, like, this crazy-looking woman standing there with a knife as these, like, father and son drive past, and he just speeds up, starts driving off like, oh, fuck this shit, the father does, kind of thing. And then he sees a little girl running, and he's like, oh, shit, and he stops for the little girl. I was thinking, what if the little girl is actually the killer? And, like, the mother woman is, like, not dodgy, and it was her who escaped or something. Obviously, that isn't the case, but what it could have been. I was thinking, what if that is the case? But it wasn't. I was very disappointed.
It does start off quite by the numbers, but it certainly doesn't sort of finish up that way. I don't want to totally spoil it for everyone, but it does like twist and turn. And for a while, I was like, I think I know what's happening. Then I was head scratching. Then I was like, yeah, it's going to be. There was times when I thought it almost tried to be a horror movie with some of the kills, but then it was like just before blood would be splatting everywhere, it cut away.
Yeah.
But they were bringing knives up and down an incredible amount of times. And I thought, if you actually showed this, it'd be...
well, one of the people gets shot from behind, and there's a gaping hole where the face would be.
Yeah, that was...
pretty grim.
Yeah. But I think you've got to call it like a psychological thriller, really, haven't you? It doesn't...
Yeah.
Doesn't go quite deep enough for horror.
Yeah. I think according to like genre stuff I've looked at, it is considered horror thriller. So, but it's a bit light on the horror aspects, I guess. But psychological thriller, definitely more of a more defining genre for this film for me. I would agree with that. But I thought from the off, like the girl, I can't remember her name, Christina.
Yeah.
I just assumed from the off that she was also going to be dodgy in some way, but the twist there was that she wasn't really dodgy. She just wasn't who she said she was, and that was brilliant. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough.
I mean, I think given her position, we'd all possibly take the opportunity to lie about it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, ultimately, in that regard, in the end, I kind of could understand her lie.
Yeah. But... Do you know, with this film, it starts off, obviously, as we said, with the woman, the child, the people driving past. The child is obviously saved, tells everyone her name is Christina. Can't remember if she gave her last name, I just remember it being Christina. And it then skips 20 years, I believe, into the future.
Yeah.
And obviously, the woman from the beginning was imprisoned, and they were in the middle of transporting her, and maybe other people as well. I don't actually know that. And it tips over. She breaks free, and then it shows her killing some woman in a bath, in a toilet, in like a public restroom or whatever you would want to call it.
Yeah.
And she was stabbing the fuck out of the woman, like repeatedly, just like stab. And I genuinely thought at that moment, she's cutting her fucking head off. She's hacking her head off for some reason, but I don't think she did. And I was wondering, like, why go to such lengths? But later in the film, skipping ahead a bit here, later in the film, it says that that woman was the one who escaped, who was being blamed for the killings going on. She was found dead, like, however many miles away south So I was thinking the woman that maybe they found was the woman from the restroom, the bogs, as I would say, was her, and maybe she cut her up so badly that they couldn't recognize her. But you would think there would be something there to kind of give her away that wasn't her, because, you know, why would they just identify her as her? Unless they changed her clothes and just assumed it was her.
That's the bit that seemed sort of a bit lazy writing, isn't it? Because they wanted to make out that she was dead or captured or what, so you'd stop worrying about her and think like, oh, well, that's that gone, blah blah blah. It can't be her. Who else is? But then, like you said, there was never any like explanation when she pops up again.
Yeah, I think the twist there was she's dead. You were seeing her. She's not actually there, Christina, and you were going nuts, and you were doing the murder.
Yeah.
Not the escaped mother, so to speak.
Yeah, not Elizabeth Caulfield.
Yeah. But I think that's what it was meant to do. But, like, there was no... I don't see how they identified the a body of Elizabeth Caulfield being dead.
No.
Because they just said, oh, we found her dead, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't really give any description into that.
And I wouldn't have said the woman she killed was her height or weight or anything.
No.
She was heavier set.
I have no fucking clue what went on, but they'd probably just kill her. Thought, that's a good enough reason. But it makes sense why they showed her killing that woman and no one else.
Yeah.
So it's set up like she killed this person to throw them off, thinking she had been killed.
I do think her that played the killer was a good actor, and I've never seen her in anything before, as far as I know. But
I recognise her for some reason, but I don't know what from.
She was quite a believable nutcase, I'll give her that. got some crazy eye going on.
Yeah, I liked her in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Where she was, like, dancing to herself or whatever, thinking she was part of the family. So it seems like in this film, like, I wasn't really sure what was going on. Like, she was really, really good night nurse or whatever they call it. I think that's like a breastfeeding woman for other people's kids, I think. But then she was having an affair with, like, a cop. She got sacked. And then she went nutty, I think. So I'm wondering, is her daughter actually the cop's daughter? Because he sent her birthday cards and everything. So
I think so.
Because it seems to imply that, but it doesn't outright say it.
No, I think with this film, it definitely never makes things entirely as straight as it could do.
I wonder if they've done that intentionally so you can make your own decision. Or
quite possibly.
Or they just didn't write in the detail that much. Like,
Well, it's a good excuse, isn't it, if you've not tied your knots up to basically go, oh, it's like that's to leave people thinking about it.
Yeah. But one thing I enjoyed near the end. So, right near the end. Do you know when she goes to that house and she's dancing in the kitchen, imagining it was her house and she was in there and there was a ball happening? And then the wife of the half-dead cop, say half-dead because he was like all like ill and stuff.
Yeah.
She's in like, get out of my house! Get out of my house! Like that. And I was thinking to myself, you've just been shot in the face. Why are you doing that? Why not just pretend to be dead and you'll be alright?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't make sense. But I liked it. Another thing as well that I didn't get. Right? At the very, very end, after everyone has been murdered and whatever else, thing that I didn't get. Right? At the end, I know this is going to be spoilers for people who haven't seen it, but...
Yeah, if you want to watch it, turn off now and we'll discuss.
I think people should watch the film. If you're going to listen to a podcast about films, generally the best thing to do, for me personally, like any podcast I listen to that's about films, if I'm like, oh, that episode's going to be coming up, I'll watch the film and then I'll listen to it because I want to know what they're going to be talking about, like what they've talked about, because then I can understand the references they make into things. So that's my point of view is, you should watch the film and then listen to the podcast. But at the end, the daughter of the cop is like, had a baby cut out of her stomach. And the baby's given to Christina, whose real name I think is Kate. And she has the baby sitting in an ambulance right at the end. And the people walk up to a paramedic or whatever, goes, oh, we'll sort you and your baby out. And I was thinking, you've just come from the house with a woman who's been cut open with a baby taken out of her. How can you not realize that is that baby?
Yeah, I thought that.
That doesn't make sense.
And obviously, like, the copper...
yeah, he was there as well.
Yeah, what's his name? Jamie, that's it.
Jamie, yeah.
He was there, he knew everything that happened, and he's gonna like let her go off with this baby that's not hers.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And I was wondering whether it was his baby, because clearly he'd been in a relationship with this gal.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really answered.
No, it wasn't. Is it? I personally think that this is quite a fun film. But if you kind of try and put too much logic to it, certain things don't work. Like the end there with the baby, the woman who's screaming. I suppose she did get shot in the face, or maybe she was a bit disorientated. But certain things you're like, it doesn't really work. That the woman who, Elizabeth Caulfield, or whatever her name was, why they thought she was dead elsewhere. That's another thing that doesn't really, when you look at it, you think kind of like, But,
I mean, what was she kidnapping the girls for anyway? Was it to give her real daughter a friend or something, or...?
I don't know. It doesn't explain any of that, does it?
No, I didn't think her motivations were very clear.
I mean, she just lost the plot and was fucking stealing kids because she was.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe because she wasn't allowed to be around him for work anymore. She was going, oh, just take a few for myself.
That is a possibility. But then she would kill them all if they tried to escape, and then blame the daughter. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. Like, what? And in a weird way, she did seem to actually care about her daughter. It's like she killed that woman, cut out the baby. It's like, oh yeah, I got this baby for you because you've always wanted a family of your own. Are you at least going to say thank you? It's like, what? Like I said, it's very fucked up logic, but she clearly cares for her daughter in a really messed up way.
Like, thanks, Mum. I'll have a jumper or some socks or a bar of Galaxy next time, thanks. Still out on it.
No, you will have this child I just took out of someone's belly.
I know it's been done in real life, though, hasn't it? That people have cut babies out of people.
I think that was Sharon Tate murder. It happened to that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Charles Manson's family killed Sharon Tate and cut out the baby, I believe. But
I know there was
mistakenly.
I saw a crime thing, and it was a woman who kept making out to her spouse that she was pregnant, and she wasn't. And obviously, he was like counting down the months. And when it got near, she went and attacked someone and tried to steal their baby.
Damn.
Because she was going that far to, like, make the deception stay alive. It's like, people will do some crazy stuff.
It is strange, but just don't know what's going on in people's heads, isn't it? Like, you can reasonably understand the thought of, like, they need to be punished, but at the same time, people also really need help. They really need help so that they don't end up like too far gone. But people don't get the help they need, and then they go stabbing people. I blame the government.
You gotta blame someone.
Yeah, fuck them Tories.
I know there is a statistic about mental illness being like 50% of the illness and physical being the other 50%, but yet mental illness only gets 20% of the funding or something to that extent. You know, you'd have to look it up exactly.
I think the issue with mental illness and that sort of thing, or physical illness, is you can't see it.
Exactly.
It's an invisible illness, so to speak. So I think a lot of it is hard to understand. As much as someone had their arm cut off for some reason, like in an accident, then you would notice like they missing an arm. If someone's brain is missing some sort of chemical component that makes them function properly, people are not really going to notice that because they can't see it.
I mean, I find as well nowadays with all the like wireless earphones and answering calls with your earphones in your ears and not having to touch a phone, that many people are walking around looking like they're muttering to themselves, that somebody nutty could walk straight up to you and you'd just presume they were on their phone until the knife was in the centre of your head.
Yeah, I agree. I'd have earphones on when I do go out sometimes and listen to stuff. And it's just like, can't really hear anything. And then sometimes I'll phone the missus and speak to her as I'm walking, and people are probably looking at me going, I think he's nuts, man. I don't know why they've got that accent. I live in Wales, but there you go. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. I did at one point actually through this film, because we were watching the film, me and the missus, because I always make her watch the films I'm watching. She rarely ever wants to watch them, because a lot of the time when I'm putting films on for this podcast, right, in my opinion, they've generally been pretty good. When I'm listening to other podcasts about films, I tend to listen to podcasts about shitty films. So I end up watching really shit films. So a lot of the time I'm putting crap films on, and she's like, what shit are you putting on now? I was like, I don't know anything about it. Knowing that chances are it's fucking awful. I just stick it on, and then she's like, why did you make me watch this? And it's getting harder to make her watch things now. She's like, what shit you make me watch now? Like this, I put this on. She's like, actually, that was a lot better than what you usually put on. I was like, no. Yeah. But there you go. Anyway, we were talking through the, not like talking through the film, but every so often we'd say something to each other about like certain aspects of the film. And one I was like, because quite a bit through I was thinking the girl has to be dodgy in some way. Christina, I reckon, is dodgy in some way. I don't know why I thought that all the way through the film up until a certain point. The way the foster parents were murdered, I genuinely thought maybe it was Christina who did that. And then, because especially as you see her, like, after that, you see a scene of her walking with an axe dragging across the floor. An axe was used to kill those people. And then she started digging at the floor. And that was one thing I was like, why is she always waking up covered in dirt? And why is she digging at the floor now? And it turns out that was because of something that happened to the real Christina.
Yeah.
She was buried and she was trying to dig her up.
Right. It definitely did a good job of like weaving and putting some sort of conflicting thoughts in your head, because I thought maybe she'd killed them, because it kind of made out the stepdad was a pedo, or at least a beater.
Yeah, he did something. But and he's like, I am drunk anymore, so for 10 years or whatever. So clearly something happened when he was drinking.
Yeah.
Who knows what? But I know, like I said, the film is I enjoyed the film for the most part. I wouldn't say there's anything I particularly disliked. Like, it was entertaining. The little mystery around if she was nuts killing people as well was another. As soon as the other one turned up, though, Elizabeth turned up and was like, "Hi, Kate," or whatever. I was like, "Oh, okay, then clearly she's there." And then he was trying to make out she was dead elsewhere, and I said to the missus, like, but she's not though. So that didn't really work. That little twist. It was enjoyable. Like I said, there's a few leaps you have to take when it comes to thinking logically about like the death of her and the baby thing and stuff like that. But nothing particularly bad about the film. No. The acting was all right. I would say. I wouldn't say. I don't know. I think the acting was for the most part was pretty good. I wouldn't say there was anyone particularly bad. There you go.
No, I can't think of anybody bad. I think the serial killer woman was a very convincing nut. The daughter, you really did believe she was going insane at times. The copper outside her ass, I thought, I'm not going to say his name again because I'll butcher it, but I thought he was believable. There's not even background characters. Sometimes you'll have like some background characters who were awful, but there's nobody that stands out for crimes against cinema. They're all at least passable.
Yeah. I liked though with the girl she was going to adopt. Christina was going to adopt Kate, whatever you want to call her. She's going to adopt a girl, and she ends up getting killed. And the one thing that the mother says, Elizabeth, is like, yeah, well, you can have this baby. This one isn't. I don't know. I can't remember the exact words. Like this one isn't tainted like the other one you were going to adopt. So start fresh with a baby, kind of thing. It's like, what? Yeah. What?
Oh,
she killed her because she's a bit messed up. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Makes you think what would happen to that baby's future if the mother-in-law had stayed around. Oh, yeah. Not doing so well in her own work. I'll just throttle her a bit. Can always get another one.
I was confused sometimes about names. I was like, what's that guy's name? The old cop, and I think his name was Jerry. So you got Jerry, Jamie, and I think the foster father was Terry.
Something like that, yeah.
It's like very inventive names. Terry, Jerry, and something else. Jamie. They didn't have a Jimmy and a Bimmy. NES reference there. Double Dragon, to be exact.
I do like the old stuff in games like that where the English is all butchered.
Jimmy and Bimmy. So what did you think of the film overall, man? Before we wrap up, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty darn good film. The only thing I'd say, I don't think it's like a massively memorable one that will live in your head. It's an entertaining 2 hours. Starts off fast, gets a bit slow, but then picks up pace again. But, I think in a couple of weeks I'll have forgot all about it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those films that are like a good time watching, but not something that's long lasting like some other films. Like the next film we're going to talk about, which for me, I watched as a child, and even now I still think about the film. So that is going to be us. I think if you've not watched The Girl Who Got Away, or as is known in some other places, Mother, then you should check it out. It is genuinely a fun film. You have to suspend disbelief a little bit with certain things, but otherwise, you're alright. Fun. Definitely a decent way to waste 2 hours of your life.
Yeah.
That'll be us then. We'll be back next time with either the next film that we are going to watch on our own, which is Watership Down, or Black Friday. I'm not sure which we're going to put out next because I'm not sure what's happening there. But yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.